mission spéciale, on a l'impression que c'est désormais plus politique.
The country's president, Paul Biya, has been in Switzerland for several weeks now.
Somewhere in a private clinic, or a lakeside residence, or perhaps just an apartment in Geneva, a 93-year-old man is signing paperwork that reshuffles the army of a country he hasn't set foot in for 2 months. His name has led that country since 1982, longer than most of its 28 million citizens have been alive. Ask them where their president is right now, and almost none of them can tell you. In 1982, Paul Biya became the president of Cameroon. He is still the president of Cameroon. In the years since, he has become Africa's second longest serving leader and the oldest head of state on earth. For many younger Cameroonians, Paul Biya has always been the president. Entire generations have grown up, gone to school, started families, and entered the workforce without ever knowing another head of state. For them, the idea of a Cameroon led by someone else is not just political, it is almost unimaginable. And as for the president, he has never governed by simply being present. For over a decade, long stretches in Switzerland have been normal. The country run in his absence by party officials and family. Geneva has become strongly associated with Biya because he has reportedly spent extended periods there during his presidency, particularly at the Intercontinental Geneva. An OCCRP investigation found that between 1982 and 2018, Biya spent about 1,645 days on private trips abroad, with Geneva by far his most frequent destination. The controversies wasn't simply that a president traveled, it was the length, frequency, and reported cost of those stays. OCCRP estimated that a stay involving Biya and his entourage at the Intercontinental could cost roughly $40,000 per day, based on hotel prices and the sizes of delegation. Those figures were estimates, not an official accounting of government expenditure. The issue became especially controversial among Cameroonian opposition figures and protesters in Switzerland. Demonstrators gathered outside the hotel during some of his visits, accusing the government of spending public money abroad while Cameroon faced serious economic and political problems. There was also criticism from civil society voices in Switzerland. Public eye researcher Mark Geniat argued that the concern was not simply Biya's right to travel, but the amount of time he spent in Geneva and the possibility that taxpayers were bearing the cost. In 2024, rumors that he had died spread so far that he flew home for one purpose only: to be photographed alive in public. Then he left again. But something even more funnier is this. In 2025, he won another 7-year term in an election his opposition called fraudulent. Protests followed. The government says 15 people died. Other counts put it far higher. One opposition figure died in custody. His chief rival fled the country. His absence we never knew. What's new is that this time nobody can say when or if he's coming back. June 7th, 2026, the president's office announces a brief private stay in Europe. It has happened dozens of times before. No one expects this trip to be different. Day 7, no word. Day 20, no word. Day 40, rumors begin spreading inside Cameroon, even though speculating publicly about the president's health can bring real legal trouble. Day 58, his spokesperson finally speaks, telling a foreign broadcaster only this: the president is alive and will return soon. No dates given. Day 60, still gone. the longest stretch he has ever spent outside his own country. In a country where discussing the president's health can get you in trouble. The state itself has offered exactly one sentence of explanation in 2 months. No hospital has confirmed anything. No family member has spoken. What they have is silence. And 2 months is a long time to fill a silence with imagination. Online, Cameroonians trade rumors in whispers and code, because commenting directly on president's health over there isn't just gossip, it can be a crime. Only but few were courageous to speak up, especially the Cameroonian singer Leo Bianca.
We've been under a tyrannical government and they have been killing us and silencing us by
The opposition has done what ordinary citizens cannot risk doing, asking plainly on the record who exactly is exercising presidential authority while the president is gone. No one in government has answered that question yet. Here is the entirety of what Cameroonians has heard from its president in 2 months. Decrees: 5 colonels promoted to general. The commander of his own presidential guard reappointed. Not a speech, not an address to the nation. Paperwork about who guards him. Ask why the military, specially, and the answer starts to feel less like a routine and more like a man managing risk from a distance. The government insists nothing has stopped, that institution functions, that decrees still carry the force of law from 3,000 kilometers away, but legitimacy was never only administrative. Now, a nation in uncertainty doesn't just need its laws to be signed. It needs to see the person signing them. A decree can move an army. It cannot calm a country. And right now, that's the only thing Cameroon is hearing from its presidents. While the story is being told in Geneva, life is still being lived in Yaoundé and Daoula and every town in between. Face some of the steepest unemployment on the continent. Prices keep climbing in the country's Anglophone regions. A crisis that has simmered for years remains unresolved, unaddressed by a leader that is quiet, literally not there. This isn't a stable nation, withering one man's absence. It's a country that just came through a disputed election, protests met with force, and an opposition candidate who chose exile over arrests. Ask people from Cameroon about their presidents, and many won't answer on camera at all. Cameroon's constitution says little about what happens if a 93-year-old president cannot or does not return. Cameroon is now facing a question it has avoided for decades. What happens when Biya can no longer govern? At 93, and after more than 2 months outside the country, that question has become impossible to ignore. There is no public announced successor, and no formal transition has been declared. The government continues to insist that Biya remains in control, issuing decrees and making key appointments from abroad. But the longer his absence continues, the more attention turns towards what comes next. Even the recent military reshuffle has raised question, not because it proves a succession plan exists, but because the military will inevitably matter in any future transition. For now, the state remains firmly in control, but the future becoming harder to ignore. The question was never really, where is Paul Biya? The real question is, who is Cameroon without him?